Hi guys, welcome to Sophie's webinar today. I am so excited with you guys. Thank you so much for hopping on. Let's give everybody a few minutes and then we'll be starting soon. Hi guys, welcome to today's webinar. I am super excited that I get to meet you guys and see you guys on the monthly basis. Today, you guys are in it for a treat. We got this amazing information about living trust and what a Prop 19 is about. Lots and lots of people start asking me, Sophie, who and what and how do I find out more information? So in a minute, I will bring you our guest for today. Before I begin, for those of you who have not get a chance to meet me, my name is Sophie Lin with Keller Williams. I was born in Taiwan and called Bay Area home for the past 35 years. My background was architect interior design from Academy of Art University in San Francisco. I have practiced with my license for 6 years. I actually been passionate about helping individual family on their real estate need, whether it's on the sell side, whether it's on the buy side, or even investment. If you ever know anyone or thinking about outer area of the Bay Area, make sure that that is also a part of my service. So without further ado, I want to make sure I get a chance to introduce you guys. My guest today, Shihlan Chen, a trust attorney, has been a long, great friend of mine and my go-to person on any of the legal conversation. Shihlan has been 8-year license, and tell us a little bit more about yourself, Shihlan.
Hi, thank you, Sophie, and I'm really glad to be here to meet everyone online for this webinar. So I want to talk a little bit about myself. Is first, I'm a mom, and my son is only 8, so I know the importance to have a plan in place to protect your family, your asset. And second, my way of practice is quite different from other attorneys. I don't just provide documents to clients. I provide my service and I really emphasize my relationship with my client because if client only get a set of document, if they know nothing about their plan, it's going to be a failed plan. And there are so many holes in just document only. So I'm very proud that I always have a relationship with my client, and I'm very happy they can always find a person to ask their question.
Fantastic. This is why she is a long-term friend and my number one trusted attorney to go to serve all my clients. You guys are in it for a treat. There are so many things that we have selected topic for you guys. So bulk it down, guys. Make sure that you take a lot of notes. So let's talk about foundation. I like to start with the foundation. All right. So I would say 95% of my clients always ask this one good question. Why? Why do I need a living trust? Why is it a safe net for me as a homeowner? So today I want to start with the foundation. Shihlan, can you help us to understand the basic? Why?
Sure, of course. I'm so excited to share. We have a lot of info today. But before I answer Sophie's question, I want to have a disclaimer upfront. So I am an attorney, but I'm here just to share my information, and this is for education only. So this is starting point for you to start planning for your family, but this should not be your only resources to start your planning. So this is not legal advice, and then there's no attorney-client relationship between me and the audience. Okay, so go back to the question. So I think why trust is so important is because you want to, especially as a homeowner, you want to have a safety net for your family. Why I say safety net? So I want to first explain that when you are a homeowner, we are all happy because here the housing price in Santa Clara County is really, really high and increase every year. When you see your assets are growing, you're so happy. But I want to remind you one thing that we are all going to die or become incapacitated one day. So have you ever thought of, okay, if one day I die, what's going to happen to my house? Is it natural that my children can go to recorder's office and tell them that, oh, my father died, so now I want to transfer this house into my name? Have you ever thought about this? Because I talk this with my client a lot. At first, they all think about, oh, it's natural when I die, my spouse or my children is going to get everything. Yeah, it's for conceptually, it's yes. But what's the process going to be? So the process going to be is if you own a house under your name, or if it's a spouse, it should be a community property. And then if you die, it's not going to be that easy that, oh, my kids can naturally change the title. So if you don't put your house into living trust, what's waiting for your family is like the recorder's office is going to tell you that, oh, you cannot change title like this. You need to get a court order. And how? Then that's a probate process. So I want to summarize is uh, if you don't plan your family for a living trust, then there is a process, a default rule waiting for you. That is the probate process. So what's probate? Probate in California is really unfriendly. So I want to tell you is the probate process is a state to state process. It's not a federal process. It's not a nationwide process. So because today our topic is mainly about real estate. So I want to remind some people if they really like real estate or they are real estate investor, because I have a lot of clients, they like to invest real property. So not only in California, they also own property in like Texas or Washington State. So if you this is you definitely want to get a living trust, because when there's something happens to you, if you own out of state property, then you are going to open multiple probate process. So it's really a disaster to your family. And let's go back to the California probate process. So I can put it in simple, it's probate process in California is very long, very expensive, and everything is public. So when I say very long, a lot of people will ask me, oh, my family is really simple. Like my first family, I have one spouse, one kids, and I maybe only have one house and then very simple assets. Will this take long? My answer is yes. So you need to expect, even though you are as simple as this, you need to expect it's a 1 year long process. And I think for cost, everyone in California have this experience, right? Because everything here is so expensive. So does probate. So the fee is very, very expensive. It's actually a statutory fee. So they have a formula to calculate the fee. But I can tell you it's on the core website. It already tell you that probate fee costs you around 4 to 7% of your probate assets. And this is only the case that you are simple. if there's a litigation dispute, it's going to be higher. And then everything is public. So, which means you have no privacy. And I can tell you, it can go very, very detailed, like, oh, this house, what's the address, who gets this, or if you have insurance, like how much is the insurance and who gets that. So actually, in California, it's a really expensive and painful process. So why pay for this? So for homeowner, it's actually no-brainer. You need a living trust to avoid all these costs and this painful process.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Everybody, make sure that we are providing you guys a link on the side that you can click on and schedule a one-on-one free consultation with attorney Shihlan. And if you have any specific question, feel free to take advantage and schedule a one-on-one appointment. Of course, if you have a one-on-one question with real estate, go ahead on your right-hand side, go ahead and click the link to schedule one-on-one appointment with me. Next, I want to talk about another amazing, important topic. It's Prop 19. Prop 19 shift. Please tell us a little bit about what changed and then what is it? What kind of conversation that people should have, especially in Santa Clara County?
Okay, so Prop 19 recently is really, really a popular topic, especially you are a long time property owner, because we all know in Santa Clara County, if you buy homes like 20, 30 years, your real estate probably already over 10 times. So I think Prop 19 is a new law passed in 2021. So it has two parts. So the first part is about the parent-child transfer. The second part is about if you are over 55 and you are the victim of a natural disaster, there will be some new rule to relieve your property tax bill. So let's talk the first part about parent-child exclusion first. So before Prop 19, like let's say if a parent owns home, maybe both 1980s, and then they pass away, their kids can inherit this house with very low tax basis. Let's imagine like 1980, maybe it's like 100,000 house. Right now, probably over 2 million. So think of the property tax bill because I think right now it's April. Everybody gets a bill, right? Someone is happy and someone is not. So let's imagine if your house is only like 100,000, your property tax bill is way lower than the fair market value, like 2 million. So before Prop 19, if this is parents' primary residence, no matter how your kids is going to be primary resident or no, parent can inherit the very low tax basis. So this is before Prop 19. But because you know, like California has a housing issue, there's very low inventory. So the reason for Prop 19 is they want more inventory. So if they raise like the house, if the kids doesn't inherit the low tax basis, they probably cannot afford the property tax bill for a 2 million home. So they are going to sell it. So Prop 19, the reason for Prop 19 is they want more people to sell their house. So Prop 19 is much limited compared pre-Prop 19 year for parent-child property tax exclusion. So under Prop 19 right now, there are like three requirements you will have to remember. The first is if you still want to get the parent-child exclusion, the house has to be primary residence, not only for parents, but also for kids. So if parents use this house as investment property, then kids cannot have any low property tax basis. And if the parent use this house as primary residence, but then the kids doesn't plan to live in this house, there's no Prop 19 applies. So the rule of thumb is parent and child has to use this house as primary residence. And the second is when the kids inherit this house, it's a limited time. The kids must move in. The time right now is within 1 year. The child must move in as primary residence. So the child needs to file homeowner exemption as a proof. So it's a must. Okay, the third requirement is even though parent and child use this house as primary residence, there's a cap on the value for the exclusion. So the cap is 1 million. So let's say if the house is like uh the current tax basis is like $300,000. But now the house is already 2 million. It's not that everybody uses as a primary residence can get unlimited exclusion. No, there's a cap. The cap is 1 million. And I want to say this 1 million, the assessor's office will adjust with inflation every 2 years. So although when the law passes 2021, there's a 1 million cap, but right now it's a little bit higher. So right now it's like 1,044,586. So there are the three requirements if you want to apply for Prop 19.
Case by case, guys. Shihlan is so knowledgeable. You guys can take advantage of today's webinar with us. Again, on the slide right now, that's connect. Don't hesitate. Go ahead and schedule the one-on-one with the link on the side. Then you can actually able to identify your need, specific customized need with a private conversation. Now, our next topic, the strategy. The key of strategy on everything, whether it's about negotiation on a property purchase or selling, whether it's a strategy about living trust. So we actually want you to understand that a lot of people ask about how do I understand the non-pro rata distribution and how is it protect family. Shihlan, can you share a little bit about this topic with us?
Okay, yeah, it's a very important topic I want to talk about because we talk about living trust, we talk about Prop 19. So you may think, okay, I got a living trust, I don't want to go through probate, and then I have a living trust writing that okay, my three kids can inherit my house, so they can get Prop 19, right? Be careful at this point. So even though you have a trust, it doesn't mean that your kids can all get Prop 19, especially in a trust scenario. You want to have certain language to make sure that if you have multiple kids, and then but only one kid's living in this house, and you want to make sure this house can give to the kids who live in, remember the Prop 19 requirement, then you want to have certain language in your trust to make sure that your kids can still enjoy the very low property tax basis. So the name is kind of very legal, like a non-pro rata thing. But I want to put in put in plain language. So let's say the scenario, because most of the time probably you have one house, but then you have maybe let's say two kids or three kids, but usually not. That's really from my experience. You cannot expect like every kid's living in the same house. It's really not a very good strategy. So let's say you have a house and then you have three kids, but only one kid's living in the house. Can these kids enjoy Prop 19? And what should you do? So my answer is if you have multiple kids, but only one kid live in this house, then this child can apply for Prop 19. There's no problem as long as parent use as primary residence and your kids use as primary residence, and then the law doesn't require like every kid has to live here. But another important question you want to ask is, okay, I have one kid live in this house and apply for Prop 19, but how much saving for these kids? Then it's a very important. You want to be very mindful that how much a kid can enjoy the amount of a non-reassessment really depends on who will be on title. So this relates to the question for your living trust language, because usually, in the very simple scenario, usually when you have one house and then you have three kids, your trust will write like, oh, my kids will like equally share this house. So this is the problem. So the so-called non-pro rata means no equally. Because think of if you only have one house and only one kid live there and two other kids doesn't. But if they have to share equally for this house, then three kids needs to be untitled with this house. But only one living there, right? So the Prop 19 will apply only one third on this house. That's the important part. So what should you do? You want to make sure your trust has the language to make sure the trustee has the right to for a non-pro rata means it's not equally, but still proportionally. I don't want to be too legal, but this is the art of language. So let's say you have a 1 million house, and then you have a 1 million in cash and 1 million in like your stocks. So it's still so the proportional doesn't mean equally. So proportional will means like, okay, if one child live in the house will give to that child, and he can enjoy fully Prop 19 benefits. But you are still a very good parents because every kid still get the same proportion. The second kids can get 1 million cash, and then the third kids can get 1 million stock. So it's still a fair distribution. It's just not everything equally. Like, oh, everyone got one third of the house, one third of the cash, one third of stocks. So I think this is very important, but because this is the official opinion from Board of Equalization. So Board of Equalization is the organization to regulate all the assessor's office. In their official legal opinion later, they already say clearly that your trust cannot be, say equally, or some words like share or share alike. If that's the case, then your child who lives in this house cannot enjoy the full Prop 19 benefits.
Yeah, exactly. Deadline. So there are many rule, many policy, regulation. So let's talk about deadline. Okay, there is a critical 1 year rule for inheritance, property tax requirement and protection. So can you tell us a little bit more? We mentioned a little bit earlier of the webinar. Can you tell us a little bit more? How does that one critical 1 year rule for inheritance property tax protection?
Okay, so the 1 year rule is very rigid, which means it's non-negotiable. So when the kids wants to after after parent dies, the kids must move in within 1 year. So the time will calculate starting from the date of death. So when you want to claim this kind of thing, you want to have proper document. So because I can tell you recently, because maybe the housing price is too high, Santa Clara County become very strict on all the documentation. So you want to make sure that that's everything, like what's the date of death, and then what's the day you move in. Sometimes when you move in, you need to apply for homeowners exemption as soon as possible. You have to move in within 1 year of death. So this is a very strict deadline, and then the assessor's office probably will also ask for other proof like your PG&E bill, your water bill thing. It's a very important thing. And then there are also some filings for Prop 19. It's not naturally because assessors doesn't know. So not only you need to file for homeowners exemption, you also need to file certain form to claim Prop 19, and it has to be done in 1 year.
Good point, good tip, guys. Put a lot of notes down. Again, on your right-hand side, go ahead and click on the link. If you feel that there are questions that is more customized for you. And today we are doing the promotion. We are making sure that we want to thank you for attending today's webinar and making sure you all get that one-on-one opportunity with Shihlan. So last but not least, we want to talk about the opportunity. Okay. Text-based probability for senior 55 plus. How do you taking your low tax bill anywhere in California? This is probably one of the biggest, hottest topic that people are a little confused, but everyone is talking about it. So Shihlan, can you kind of bring us back and wrap it up with us?
Oh yeah. So I think this is really the fantastic part of Prop 19. And I feel like if you are now, because we don't want to get older, right? But right now in California, there's a reason to celebrate you age 55, because you can port your low property tax basis to a new house. How wonderful is this? Because think of like 55 or higher, probably your kids are growing up, they are going out of state for college or maybe for work, even for marriage. So when you have a big house, but right now you don't want to do so many cleaning thing, you want to downsize. But if you are worried about, oh my God, my basis for this house probably like 100,000, but now a very simple condo in California probably already like 700,000 thing. So you are worried about property tax. But then think of Prop 19. So if you are over 55, you can port your low basis to the new house. So let's take for example, like if your house is like the fair market value worth 2 million right now, but you want downsize to like let's say 1 million house, and your 2 million house, you only have like a 300,000 basis. And if the new house is worth less the fair market value of your current house, then you can just port your low basis to the new house. You don't need to worry about the added on value. But if you, let's say you want to transfer to a bigger house, like your house is 2 million, and then you want to buy a more luxurious house for 3 million. So we think this 2 million, if your basis is like 300,000, you can still port this 300,000 to the new house. But since this new house is a million over your old house, so your basis will add 1 million. So your for this 3 million house, you only pay 1,300,000 for property tax bill. How wonderful is this? So, and I want to add a note, it's not only apply for age 55 plus. If you are like severely disabled, you are victims of disasters, you all qualify. And for disabled person and disaster victims, there's no age limits. As long as you are the victims, you can apply for these benefits.
Knowledge is power, guys. This is why that we are so passionate bringing you guys a different topic of webinar on a monthly basis. All you have to do is follow us, register with the link, spread the word. You will be shocked what an incredible knowledge that we are bringing to you and your family. So we want to thank you for today's time with us. And Shihlan, has been a great honor to have your precious professional knowledge with with us. Again, on your right-hand side, everyone, make sure you click on the link. If you have real estate question, you're ready to buy and sell, or anyone you know who's thinking about having the right real estate plan, go ahead and schedule one-on-one appointment with me so we can have a deeper conversation. If you want to learn more about you and your family Pacific opportunity, how to carve the strategy for your living trust, for your fam to protect everyone you love, you need to go ahead and book that one-on-one appointment with Shihlan. And we are both here to serve you and your family. Once again, my name is Sophie Lynn Keller-Williams. We are here to help you and your family on all your real estate needs. You guys have a great one.